Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we got something different here. All right, so going to show you what we got new going on here. Now, this is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and wanted to show you that we got a new two-post lift here. So we ended up getting a 12,000 pound Atlas. And the only reason I went with a 12,000 pound lift was because I wanted the width between the posts. So the way this lift is set up, it's 109 inches in between your two post arms. So you can get something that's 109 inches through there. So say you have a trailer. Typically your trailer is about 102, 101 inches wide at your tires, maybe 103. That's your legal width for running down the road. So, if you want to back something in and take it off with like a two-post lift, you physically have to lift these arms up to get them up over the trailer fenders. And even then, your typical 9,000 pound or 10,000 pound and lower lifts still aren't generally wide enough to do that. So that was the whole reason for getting a 12,000 pound lift, was because we wanted the width. Now, this one's not up the whole way. Reason it's not up the whole way is because obviously you can see there's a tarp on it here, and you can see that we are outside. Now, the reason it's outside, first of all, I don't have all the money in the world, so we have to do things in stages. And eventually we'll get a roof over this and everything else. But in the meantime, it's going to stay outside. We have the tarps here to protect the posts and keep everything from getting covered in water, moisture, snow, anything. So we keep them tarped up. We just unwrap them a little bit here so we can use the lift, and we can get it up high enough without taking the tarps off the top. So I don't know how well you can see here, but this is a base plate lift. So we went with a base plate lift so that we don't have to worry about overhead obstruction. Now, this lift also lifts higher than your standard overhead bar lift as well by a couple inches. Same brand, just overhead versus base plate. So it was nice to have a little bit of extra lifting capacity for height as far as lifts go. So right now, this can go up probably another foot or so. And realistically, it doesn't even need that to work underneath it comfortably. So that was why we chose this lift here. And we put this up ourselves, follow the directions. The directions for this lift were horrible. So you probably will be making a couple calls to Atlas if you are trying to put up a 12,000 pound base plate lift. The directions really are terrible. And their service department's great. The service that they provide, if you have any questions, they can answer them. So that was my only complaint about this lift, was actually the directions. But we got a 12,000 pound two post here. This is going to help us with a upcoming project that we have coming up, which is we're going to be tearing into a 6-liter van. And doing the 6-liter van, we're going to be pulling the body off. So instead of trying to make something goofy and cribbing and using unorthodox apparatuses to try to lift the body off of the van, we are going to use this two-post lift. So that is the main purpose for this lift, but we are also going to be spraying undercoating. Now, the undercoating that we use here, it's called Corrosion X, and it is fairly superior to most other products on the market. I have used a few other products personally on my personal vehicles. I've actually fluid filmed this truck once, and I'm actually going to take you underneath this truck and show you how well that lasted. And I actually did a little bit of a spot here probably a couple months ago with some Corrosion X, and show you what that still looks like after driving it around for most of the year in salt or in salt spray or in the rain, and show you what it actually looks like on the frame. So two purposes for this lift mainly is the spraying the undercoat and then helping with the van body. So watch out for that video. We are going to be videoing taking that body off, and then also what we're going to be doing to that 6-liter engine to make it reliable again. And so keep an eye out for those. But let me take you under here and I'll show you why we use the Corrosion X. So we're going to come under here, and most of this is just oil leakage because, you know, 7.3. However, this truck was fluid filmed, and as you can see, we are looking at some serious rust issues in this truck. You can see the hanger there is not very happy above the leaf spring, but you can see the hole in the bed there. But we had sprayed this frame a couple years ago with fluid film, and there is zero remnants of any of it remaining. I've actually put it on a truck and had rainwater wash it off just sitting outside. So I wasn't real crazy about that. However, up in here, you can see the dark spot in this frame. Now, I did not spray the outside of this frame. When we had the tank down a little while ago, which you can see still kind of leaks. When we had the tank down a little while ago, I ended up spraying the inside of the frame here. And you can even see this hole here. That is all residue that has creeped out from all of the holes. So this lip under here, that's all creeped out from inside because we only sprayed the inside of the frame up in here, which you can't see because of this big tank. But that's all we did. We didn't spray the outside of the frame. So this is all creep from the inside of the frame to the outside of the frame, and it still is residue. Still has an oily texture to it. Has actually soaked into the metal, so there's a little bit of flake here, and you can see that it's actually behind that flake as well. So this is why we've been using the Corrosion X, and this truck has been pretty good to me. I really can't complain about it other than what I've spent in it. So moving on here, another thing I want to touch on is when we did the axle swap in this truck. Now, we did it a long time ago. This is probably 200,000 miles plus ago that we did this, if not maybe 250. And you see this flake here, okay? We put POR 15 on this axle, followed all of the procedures, the prep steps, all of that, did all of it. And it didn't take long for all of it to promptly peel off. So it's all promptly peeled off of this axle and has not lasted for me. Now, granted, this is 250,000 miles. However, it peeled off within probably the first 3 or 4 years. So I don't really like the POR 15. Doesn't seem to hold up well at all. And then here we are looking at a powder coated bracket. Once again, you know, straight failure here. The powder coat does zero anything for this type of weather. So this was powder coated, and the bolts were powder coated, and this is what powder coat does. So powder coat does nothing for me. I don't like powder coat. I don't think it's worth the money or the time. So at that point, if you're going to be doing any kind of painting, coatings, anything like that to your truck, I mean, obviously oil is always the best because you can see how oil just coats everything. And back here, you can see the POR lasted on the back side here. However, on the front side of this axle, you can see where this bar is powder coated. All of that has peeled off. All of the POR is peeling or has lifted, and or is just completely gone in some areas. And you can see here that this is just POR, and all it's doing is holding rust because it's just peeling just like the powder coat does. So if you're trying to coat your truck and protect it, I highly suggest a paint or a high quality coating that is a paint, not so much an encapsulator. So we like to use the chassis saver anymore on these because they seem to hold up really, really well and does a very good job for keeping everything clean. So the powder coat does not work. It does flake off over time, even in a non-corrosive environment. This obviously is excessive because of the corrosive environment. However, like this bracket here has been painted and it looks much, much better than, say, the powder coated bracket that's over here. So these are painted, and the only place that it's actually chipping off would be on the edges here, which is no surprise, or anywhere that it has actually contacted anything else. So if you're looking to coat your truck with anything, use a paint-like product, something that's going to be engineered for paint, such as, say, like bridge paint. Bridge paint is amazing. It still does flake off and corrode, but it works. But I've had really, really good success with the chassis saver. So that's done really, really well for me. Another thing here is this is POR. These were all POR. These were actually brand new when we put them on, and I had them sandblasted to remove all of the original powder coat, and we went ahead and POR'd them following their extensive instructions, and this is what you end up with over time. So the POR didn't last for me. I wasn't real happy with it. I won't be using it again. However, powder coat also, same thing. You can see that the powder coat is just flaking off of everything that is powder coated. So powder coat isn't exactly ideal for anything either. You can see it really bad over here. So get yourself a good paint product, and then, like I said, we're going to be spraying Corrosion X on these vehicles now. So we're going to be doing some of that here on the side, and hopefully be able to protect some of these vehicles from, the rust. So we'll see how this is going to go for us. And we're going to go ahead and start spraying undercoating. So hopefully that will do well for us. I've used it in years past, and it's done wonderful. So with this Corrosion X that we use, the best way to apply it is through like a pressure pot like this. And they make smaller ones than this, but they are not much cheaper than, say, this pressure pot. There's a couple different setups that you can use that they offer. They offer long wands, flexible wands, and all that. So we do carry all that so we can spray this correctly. And what we do is we will spray in all the cavities and access as many places as physically possible. So the reason that we use this stuff is because it atomizes. This is safe for electronics, it's safe for rubber, it's safe for pretty much everything, but it is an oil-based product. It will atomize extremely well. So we actually use this to spray underneath the vehicles and inside all the cavities. We have wands. I think the longest one I have is like 7 feet long, so that you can get down into frames and everything like that. So this is what we use to spray vehicles, and it works wonderfully. So we try to use this. Now we have two different types of product that we use. We have a heavier duty stuff that we spray on your frame itself. So the frame will actually take the heavier stuff a lot better, stuff that gets direct water spray and salt spray and stuff like that. So we'll spray something that's going to get that direct spray from tires or from the road, and it actually holds a lot better, whereas the lighter stuff will atomize. So that's for inside your cavities or up inside your doors. So whenever you go ahead and you spray inside a cavity, it will atomize. It actually stays in the air for about an hour. I did a little test in the shop a while back. I actually sprayed a cab corner on Gary's truck. Whenever we were doing that, we sprayed this one corner really, really well, and did the other corner too. And I just used this nozzle here. And whenever I was done, I left. I went in and got some lunch and came back in like an hour. And you could still see when I turned the lights on that there was still a fog inside the shop there from just doing that little bit of spraying. So this stuff works wonderfully. I would recommend it to anybody. But the thing is, you got to know somebody that has all of the equipment to spray it, because you can't just load it into any application gun and just spray it on. You actually have to be able to have a way to atomize it and be able to spray the product correctly. So that's what we do with this, and that's the main reason why we have this 2-post lift here, is so we can do the undercoating easily. And then for it being outside, it keeps the shop nice and clean, keeps it all separated from everything. You're not worried about getting this product all over everything, because it will. You know, I've sprayed it in shops before that were enclosed, and you have to open up the doors and turn on fans, and then even then it's like when you're done, everything has a coating on it, even if it's 40 feet away. So this stuff is wonderful. I will spray it on anything. We've done it on our personal vehicles for years now, and it's worked wonderfully. So we will actually continue to spray this, and we actually offer this to people to spray. So if you're in the market for an actual proper product that does work, I would look into a Corrosion X. Try to find somebody close to you that does spray this. This is more of an aviation type material, so it is not cheap, because it's specially formulated to cover all of the other things with atmospheric pressure and changes and freezing and the temperature changes, and not being a problem or getting gooey or anything like that. So this stuff works wonderful. So if you guys are looking for something like this for your vehicle and you live in my area, that's something that we can do. However, we're trying to get some other stuff done here at the shop. So we got a new addition here. We've got this 2-post, and then we're going to start spraying this for people, and hopefully that it works well for them and they like it, because I know I love it. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. We didn't really cover too much stuff today. Just mainly wanted to showcase that we have a new tool at the shop here, and we have a newer product, so to speak, that we are using on our vehicles here. So anybody that comes in, if a friend of mine or whatever calls and says, hey, we want to fix something, okay, we can fix something, and we can spray this up in there. If you drop a fuel tank, you can spray the inside of the frame, and it gives them a little bit of peace of mind that they don't have to worry about any of that corrosion attacking that fuel tank or frame or anything like that, those hard to reach areas. So hopefully that give you guys some insight on some quality products to use, and hopefully it'll help you in your selection to preserve your vehicle. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.